I was left with no choice but to bend down in front of Tiffany, our school's queen bee. As I was about to untie her shoe, I suddenly looked up and said, "Hey, are your feet smelly?" I heard it's a secret flaw that beautiful girls often have. Tiffany glared at me and gave me a light kick. "They are not." Before we get into it, could you give my cat a like and subscribe? Thanks, everyone. This stray cat I picked up is kinda weird. She reminds me of Tiffany, the stuck-up beauty from our school. Right then, I decided to give her a name. You're a lot like Tiffany from school, kinda arrogant and rude. You know what, I'm going to call you Tiffy. The little white cat immediately hissed. Ugh, Tiffy? From now on, I'm your owner, got it, kitty? The cat glared at me with obvious displeasure. That's good to hear, Tiffy. Good girl. It rained this morning, and since I lent Tiffany my umbrella, I got soaked on the way home. Now, Tiffy was looking at me with her big, round eyes, as if to ask, when can I eat? Before I could answer her, the way I took my shirt off surprised her so much. It was the first time she saw the upper body of a male with a flattish and yet slightly muscular chest, even six-pack abs. The little cat went bright red and scurried under the bed, her gaze frantically averted. I didn't mean to look. Looking at the little cat hiding like a brick, I was puzzled. This cat knows how to be embarrassed? How are we not the same species? Maybe, she's been in a state of cold aloofness for too long that she's embarrassed just looking at people? After 20 minutes, I finished my shower and went into the kitchen. Thinking about what cats like to eat, I added some tuna to the fried rice. Tiffy sat opposite me at the table, eating heartily. As far as Tiffany was concerned, Kevin was actually a nice guy. He could cook and loved animals, even though his grades were a little lacking. Aside from that, he was 6 feet tall and pretty handsome. A guy like that must not have a girlfriend because he was terrible with words. Meow, meow. Tiffy tapped her little bowl with her paw, calling me. Ugh, I didn't even dare look up. I quickly gave her another spoonful of rice and continued to stare at the laptop next to me. I suddenly activated my study mode with a superhuman memory, but I still didn't understand English pronunciation or mathematical logic. So, I decided to sign up for an online course to see if I could improve. But there didn't seem to be any courses online that fit my situation. It was so hard to become a better student. Hearing this, Tiffy clapped her snow-white paws and stared at me with wide eyes. Tiffy scoffed, revealing her contempt, "My grades are the best in the school. How can this idiot pass with an online course? What gave him the courage?" Meow, meow. I heard and looked up, her little steel bowl was empty again. Did you eat all that? What are you, a cat or a pig? Little Tiffy looked at me angrily. Well, I'm a cat now, but how can I not eat as much as a person? Last night I only ate a little, thinking I was full, but I got hungry again before midnight. Oh well, if there isn't a suitable course, I'll just keep being lazy. Tiffy, also full and satisfied, curled up on the rug. I hadn't even had a chance to be happy when my next words made her jump. Tiffy, since you've been here, you haven't taken a bath once. Even though your fur looks clean, who knows what kind of germs there are? Should I give you a bath? Hearing this, Tiffy immediately scurried under the bed. I'm a girl. I'm a girl. It's okay to live at your house, but I can't let you bathe me. No way. Absolutely no way. Tiffany, now a cat, shook her head frantically under the bed. She said, "This isn't something I can endure. I'm still a virgin girl. If Kevin does that, how will I get married later? Absolutely not, even in a cat body. Don't want a bath? You really are a dirty cat. Now where have I seen someone like that?" Tiffany hid under the bed, angrily meowing. I'm clean by habit, but compared to cleanliness, my virginity is more important. Just then the next statement of mine came that she was temporarily relieved. All right, I'm too tired today anyway. But, you have to take a bath tomorrow. You can't run away, got it? I tapped lightly on the bed. Tiffy under the bed shivered in fear. It was a threat. A blatant threat. Meow, meow. Dirty cat can't scold people, woo. She even imitated a dog, but this does not help. I turned off the light and went to sleep. A peaceful night passed. The next morning, just like yesterday, I woke up to find Tiffy no longer there. I wasn't surprised. I just thought that, like other kittens, she didn't have to earn money to buy dry fish, so of course, she would just go out and play. After washing up, I put on my backpack and left home for class. I put down my backpack, and my thoughts heavily drifted into the future, as my hand lifted the backpack. Kevin, are you bringing bricks to class? I shook my head and took out the shiny books from my backpack. These are all my textbooks from the 3 years of high school. Seeing this, Mr. Smith looked surprised. Brand new books? No wonder you went from third in the entire school to third from the bottom. Hearing this, I sighed. That's the past. I don't want to remember it. Oh well, forget it. I have to study. I opened the book, relying on my genius memory to flip through a book in just 3 minutes. As I was crazily studying, a joyful shout suddenly rang out in the hallway. Look, Tiffany's here. What's she doing in 12A2? As soon as the voice fell, the surrounding area was immediately crowded with people. I only saw Tiffany carrying a thick stack of notebooks from 12A1 and slowly walking towards the door of my classroom. Her small shoes made a click-clack sound on the shiny floor. Under the gazes of my classmates, she walked to my desk and placed the thick stack of notebooks on the desk. I was shocked. Why are you here? What is this? I put down my math book and picked up the notebook on top. Inside were all the most essential points of math. I was shocked. This is Tiffany's notes? How did she know I suddenly decided to study? I looked at her, wanting to see the answer from her beautiful face. Tiffany had never been stared at by a boy like that, causing her face to flush red. This scene shocked everyone around her, and they turned their angry gazes towards me. What did this guy do? What kind of relationship does he have with Tiffany? And the fact that he is a poor student, who is in the school, to get so close to the goddess. Could it be that the goddess likes Kevin? No way. Absolutely no way. Amidst the gossip, Tiffany couldn't stand my gaze. Her face flushed red, and she quickly turned around and ran out. At this moment, our math teacher from 12A2 just walked in and was surprised to see Tiffany. Isn't Tiffany the best student in school? Why is she in this worst class in the school? But she didn't think much of it and just assumed that she had come to the wrong class. I watched as the queen bee's figure disappeared outside the door and slowly withdrew my gaze. Could it be that she wanted to return the favor for lending her the umbrella yesterday? Thinking of this, I smiled lightly. This girl is really interesting. She doesn't seem as cold as she appears on the outside. During one class, I read all of Tiffany's notes. Every exquisite stroke was deeply etched in my mind, as if I had been taught by a martial arts master. At this moment, I had a confidence I had never had before. Mr. Smith, in the next monthly exam, I'll be at the top of the class. Mr. Smith turned back. Really? Have you forgotten my ability to memorize things? And Tiffany's notes too. Hearing the name Tiffany, Mr. Smith couldn't help but gossip. Hey, Kevin, what's your relationship with the school queen bee? Why is she so nice to you? Nice? What's so nice about it? She took the initiative to talk to me and even let me borrow her notes. I said seriously, that's because it rained yesterday, and I let her borrow my umbrella and boots. There's nothing else. Really? Does that mean I still have a chance? Hearing this, I couldn't help but laugh lightly. No, I don't think you do. Just as we were talking, a piece of chalk flew over and hit Mr. Smith on the head. Haven't you had enough fun? You still dare to talk during my class. Go up there and do the problem. Mr. Smith was stunned. Do the problem? Are you kidding me? I'm second to last in the class, how can I do this difficult problem? He stood up and said frankly, and the math teacher gave a cold laugh. No need to ask. Kevin probably can't do it either, right? I nodded in agreement. Although, after reading Tiffany's notes, this problem was just a piece of cake. I wanted to impress them. The teacher sneered again. Students like you are really a waste of educational resources. Calling you parasites is still too kind. Mr. Smith shook his head, confused. If you don't understand, then what are you standing there for? Get out of the classroom. Mr. Smith's face turned red, and he dejectedly walked out of the classroom. But just as I was about to walk out the door, I noticed that the teacher's solution was wrong. It was really harmful to people. Being a poor student, I immediately stepped forward and corrected the teacher. Teacher, the second step is wrong. If the graph of the function is symmetric about the origin, then the maximum value of f, 10, is not reasonable. This is the first condition of the problem. Please pay attention to reading the problem and don't harm your students. As soon as I said this, the entire class was stunned. Even the teacher was surprised that a lazy student like me would dare to say that she was wrong. Looking back at the board, she saw that she had indeed solved it wrong. If I just scolded him for being trash, then I'm not as good as trash. Thinking of this, the teacher froze, not knowing what to do. Teacher, why are you still in a daze? Is it really wrong? But I've already almost copied it down. While everyone was still wondering, the teacher suddenly put down her book, embarrassed, and left the classroom. Seeing this, I could only shake my head, leave behind the wrong answer, and leave. If she leaves behind the wrong answer and leaves, that's really harmful to people, I said. Then I went to the board, erased the teacher's wrong answer, wrote down the correct answer, and calmly walked out into the hallway. The classroom was silent for 3 seconds, then exploded with cheers. Wow, Kevin, why are you so good all of a sudden? Didn't he not study? Could it be Tiffany? So that's why the goddess brought him a pile of notebooks just now. She must have taught him personally. I'm so jealous. Mr. Smith, standing outside the hallway, quietly gave a thumbs up. You're doing a struggling student proud. Keep it a secret. I smiled and couldn't help but glance through the window. At this moment, Tiffany was sitting in her seat, her little legs swinging. This girl seemed to be in a very good mood. It was no wonder all the boys in the school liked her. Just looking at her back was enough to make people's hearts flutter. Perhaps because I was looking for too long, Tiffany suddenly stopped, as if she sensed something, and turned her head. Our eyes met in the air and then quickly moved away. At this moment, Tiffany was like a shy girl, her face flushed red, and her legs no longer swinging, as if she was putting all her attention on her books. I found this very believable. Why was she blushing when she saw me? I only let her borrow my umbrella and boots, not my underwear. But Tiffany didn't think so. This Kevin always thought about taking a bath with me, and I had accidentally seen his naked body. How could I not blush? Just then, the bell suddenly rang. The originally quiet teaching building became noisy again. Tiffany and her class rep, Susan, walked out. Susan could be considered her best friend, almost like sisters. Tiffany, I still don't understand the last problem on the math test. Will you teach me later? Tiffany nodded worriedly. As she walked past me, she lowered her head. Ever since she became a stray cat, she had panicked every time she met me. Seeing this, a strange thought popped into my head. This girl is really like my little cat. As long as I open my mouth, she's scared and runs everywhere. Thinking this, I unconsciously called out, Tiffany. Hearing this, Tiffany's body stiffened, and her face turned slightly red. What is it? About the notes, thank you. You're welcome, Tiffany replied softly, pulling Susan away quickly. Seeing that her best friend seemed to be panicking, Susan immediately thought of the rumors that had been circulating in the school for the past few days, saying that Tiffany and Kevin from 12A2 had a special relationship. At first, she didn't believe it, but just now, seeing Tiffany blush and even tighten her hand, it wasn't a normal reaction. Susan joked, Hey, Tiffany, what's going on with you and Kevin? Hearing the name Tiffy, Tiffany suddenly shuddered, as if she had been scratched by a cat's paw in her heart. She couldn't stand the feeling that name gave her. Don't call me Tiffy. Susan was surprised. Why? Does this name have a special meaning? I'm your best friend, why won't you let me call you your nickname? Tiffany was silent, not knowing how to explain. She couldn't say that every time she heard this name, she remembered the feeling of being petted by Kevin, right? It was really embarrassing. Susan didn't understand and became more curious. You're not going to tell me? Then I'll just call you Tiffy, Tiffy, Tiffy. Tiffany's face turned red and purple, unable to walk and having to lean against the wall to beg. Please stop, Susan. Susan realized that something was wrong and quickly supported her friend. What's wrong with you? Why have you been so strange these past few days? It's nothing, it's just that this name makes me react strongly. Tiffany took a deep breath and secretly looked at Kevin. Susan also followed suit and saw Kevin. Her brows furrowed. Tiffany's strange reaction must be related to Kevin. She had to investigate carefully. She didn't want her best friend to get involved with a poor student. Tiffany felt relieved that her best friend was silent. Perhaps the name Tiffy could only be her and Kevin's. Thinking about it carefully, it was really too romantic. The last class in the afternoon was gym. This time, 12A1 and 12A2 were studying together. The students from the two classes attracted a lot of attention as they pulled each other out to the field. Look, Tiffany is wearing sports clothes and has her hair in a ponytail. How can someone be so perfect? Good at studies, beautiful. I'm sure no girl will ever move me again. Hearing the comments, Tiffany sighed and walked straight into the field. She was used to these scenes, but now, she wasn't worried about the people around her. She was worried about Kevin. She didn't understand why, even though she was human, she felt like a cat wanting to be petted and wanting to crawl into his arms every time she met Kevin. Damn it. She regretted wishing to turn into a cat at her birthday party. If she had turned into a dog, she could have chased after Kevin and bitten him. Tiffany was thinking and searching for Kevin's figure all over the field. At this moment, I was holding a basketball and practicing shooting. Sweat soaked my short hair under the sparkling sunlight. Seeing me powerfully shoot the ball into the hoop and then pull up my shirt to wipe my sweat, revealing my six-pack, the proud queen bee couldn't help but blush. I can't look. Although the abs are really attractive, I'm not that kind of girl. Thinking this, Tiffany quickly turned her head, but just as she turned around, she saw Susan standing behind her, not knowing how long she had been watching. Tiffany panicked. Susan, why are you here? Susan smiled. He's playing basketball and looks quite handsome, right? Do you think he has a girlfriend? Hearing this, Tiffany worriedly said, probably not. He usually goes to school alone. That's great. I'll try to get closer to him, Susan said, picking up a bottle of water and walking towards the basketball court. Seeing this, Tiffany frowned, wanting to say something but stopped. At this moment, I had just finished shooting a basketball and turned around to hear a female voice. Hey handsome, want some water? I turned to look at Susan. Handsome is already going to the bathroom and is over there, south of the field. Before Susan could understand what I meant, Mr. Smith ran over from the south side of the field, panting. What did you call handsome for? I chuckled. You continue to shoot the ball. Seeing this, Susan frowned slightly. She didn't expect this boy to be so difficult to approach, but she wouldn't be easily discouraged by such small difficulties. Hey Kevin, I'm Susan from 12A1. Can we get to know each other? Hearing her name, I suddenly stopped. Are you Susan, the fifth best in the entire school? Yes, that's right. Susan smiled confidently, thinking that a talented girl like her was definitely more charming. She was stunned. Cherish this position. Next time, you'll be sixth. Mr. Smith, next to me, also patted my shoulder, his face full of smugness. I told you, he'll be in the top 5 next time, so you'll quickly be sixth. Hearing this, Susan's eyes widened, thinking that these two were crazy. Imagine a student at the bottom of the school being placed in the top 5. What a joke. She has such a high pride, how could she like someone like this? Thinking this, Susan chuckled, turned and left. Just then, the gym teacher blew his whistle, asking the gym leaders of the 2 classes to line up, followed by the usual slow warm-up run. The team ran and shouted slogans. I want to get into Stanford. Tiff. Annie, in the back of the team, stared blankly at my back. At the second turn, she didn't pay attention and stepped on a stone, then cried out in pain and fell to the ground. Ah! Tiffany fell. A sharp cry rang out, and countless boys on the field panicked and ran over. But halfway there, they stopped, remembering one thing. Tiffany hates being touched by people and absolutely doesn't allow men to touch her. Otherwise, it would be counterproductive. At this time, Susan separated from the formation and panicked. Tiffany, are you okay? Did you twist your ankle? Tiffany gritted her teeth and tried to stand up. I stepped on a stone. I'm okay. Can you take me to the infirmary? Okay, I'll help you. Susan slowly stood up, in the watchful eyes of many people. Susan helped Tiffany walk slowly on the field. Susan was also a girl, and she didn't have much strength. She was helping the queen bee with an ankle that had swollen so much that she was walking more and more slowly. Seeing this, I frowned. You're walking slower than a turtle. If you keep walking like this, you won't get to the infirmary until after school. Although we weren't friends, I had received a favor from her notes. After hesitating for a moment, I stepped forward. How long will it take you guys to get there this way? By the time you get to the infirmary, her leg will be crippled. Let me take her. After speaking, I stretched out my hand in front of Tiffany. Susan frowned, thinking to herself, let him help? Does he even know who she is? But immediately after, in her surprised eyes, Tiffany slowly put her hand on my shoulder. Thank you. No need to thank me. I'm doing this to repay the favor of your study notes. I bent down to let Tiffany lean on my back. The soft feeling came, and Tiffany's face turned red again. She found it strange why she didn't feel disgusted when Kevin touched her. Maybe it was because she had been touched by him too many times when she was a cat. I stood up and quickly carried Tiffany away from the field. When our figures disappeared, the boys around came back to their senses, and then moans rang out everywhere. Damn it! What's with the cleanliness? What's with not letting men touch her? The goddess actually climbed on his back? Could it be that the cleanliness has times when it's off? Why isn't that person me? The boys on the field were almost going crazy. Even Susan stood still, not knowing what to do. In her heart, there was only one thought. The person just now was definitely not the Tiffany she knew. On the other side, I was taking Tiffany to the infirmary. Tiffany's body was warm, and her skin was soft and smooth. Compared to my dirty cat, she was really comfortable. At least, she didn't have sharp claws to scratch people. I felt that the atmosphere was a little awkward and tried to find a topic to talk about. Oh, I've already read your study notes. I'll return them to you before school ends. I guess I won't be able to surpass you in this monthly exam, but if I take the exam a few more times, I'll probably be able to. If I take away the position you've held for 3 years, don't cry, okay? Hearing me say this, Tiffany blinked her eyes and couldn't help but rub her cheek against my shoulder. This was an unconscious action, and she was startled after doing it. Why are you rubbing? Does your leg hurt? You don't know how to use your hands to scratch? Tiffany mumbled a word, wanting to bite me. I glanced at her. Actually, you're not bad. If you talk a little more and don't act so cold, we can be friends. Tiffany replied softly, seemingly forgetting that her leg was injured and feeling very comfortable, so comfortable that she wanted to meow. I sighed. Can you not say it word by word? You can't? Then, I'll say 2 words now. I surrender to you. I mumbled to myself, thinking that a goddess was only suitable for admiring from a distance. If I really married her home, and she couldn't say 10 words in 3 days, she would definitely be very lonely. Thinking this, I lifted her up a little and stepped into the infirmary. Hello? Is anyone here? Is someone injured? Why do you say that? Injured and called someone injured? A female doctor around 30 years old in a white coat walked out from the room. I twisted my ankle accidentally during gym class. Please take a look, doctor. I put Tiffany on the bed and pointed to her injured ankle. The doctor glanced at it twice and turned to me. Help her take off her shoes and socks. Hearing this, my eyes widened. I'm not her boyfriend. Don't talk nonsense, doctor. I'm a good student and will never be in a relationship early. The doctor smiled coldly. All right, I was also at this age. I'm not that old-fashioned. Hurry up. I had no choice but to bend down in front of the queen bee. As I was about to take off her shoes, I suddenly looked up. Tiffany, are your feet smelly? I heard that beauties often have secret flaws. Hearing this, Tiffany angrily kicked me. Your feet are smelly. Hurry up and help me. I muttered a sentence and grabbed her feet to help her take off her shoes. I had to say that Tiffany's white and delicate feet were like jade, and her toenails were neatly trimmed and beautiful. I unconsciously smelled them, and there was even a hint of fragrance. Oh my God. Don't tell me I have this kind of fetish? To hide my embarrassment, I pretended to cough twice and looked at the female doctor. I'm done taking them off. All right, let me see. The doctor bent down and massaged her ankle. The sprain is serious and not normal. It's probably an old injury plus a new injury. Tiffany hesitated and then nodded. I sprained my ankle before when I was dancing ballet, so I massaged it myself before. I'll apply some medicine later. It's a pity that there's no ice, otherwise it would be better. Tiffany listened and massaged her ankle. When she looked towards me, she found that I had disappeared. Why? Thinking this, her eyes flashed with a hint of disappointment. What's wrong with me? What am I expecting? Isn't it normal for him to leave? I'm not his. But when she lowered her head, she was stunned. Where are my socks? Meanwhile, at the school convenience store, I was stuffing the ice pop I had just bought into Tiffany's 2 socks. Seeing this scene, the shop owner couldn't help but exclaim, "These are girls' socks, right? Why aren't you studying properly? You're doing this? Pervert. Is this ice pop more delicious?" Hearing this, my eyes suddenly widened. This idea isn't bad. As expected, the shop owner has experience. Meanwhile, in the infirmary, the doctor came in with a nursing trolley, glanced around the room, and suddenly frowned. Where's your boyfriend? Why did he leave? Why is someone as beautiful as you finding an unreliable person like that? Hearing this, Tiffany's eyes flashed with a hint of disappointment. But remembering something, she suddenly looked up. Doctor, did you see my socks? The doctor was stunned and suddenly glanced at the east wall. On the wall, there was a promotional picture with the content of first aid measures for students. In the third part, there was a simple treatment method for ankle injuries. Use socks to hold ice pops and apply them to the ankle for 40 minutes to 1 hour, but few people paid attention to this. Mainly for decoration, I didn't expect that in this era, there would be such a delicate and considerate boy. This made the 30-year-old doctor suddenly feel like falling in love. Seeing that she wasn't talking for a long time, Tiffany couldn't help but call out another sound to the doctor. The doctor finally came back and smiled. Don't worry, your socks will be back soon. Besides, I take back what I just said. Tiffany was confused. She didn't understand what the other party was talking about. I mean, your boyfriend is quite reliable. Tiffany was even more confused. She knew the doctor was talking about Kevin, but what does quite reliable mean? Leaving like this is called reliable? Just as she was not understanding anything, the door of the infirmary suddenly opened. Seeing me walk in from outside, holding ice pops and her socks, she asked, "Are you eating ice pops?" How's that going, Your Highness? Is there more pain? Tiffany didn't say anything and just looked at the socks that were bulging and what was wet inside. I didn't explain much and just used socks as a simple ice pack and put them on her ankle. The cold feeling immediately reduced the burning pain. At this time, Tiffany opened her eyes wide. I teased, why? Did you think I was gone? If I left, who would take you back to class? Hearing me tease, Tiffany was not angry, but smiled gently. You are not only an ice pack for yourself, but are also planning to take yourself back to class. Half an hour later, I raised my head and looked at the doctor. Doctor, is it enough time? Hearing this, Tiffany's eyes flashed with a hint of disappointment again. I really want to get more. The doctor looked at the clock on the wall and nodded. Don't let it get wet in the next few days and it will get better soon. Hearing this, I was stunned. You can't get wet? You have to abstain for a while, so you can't wash your feet. Won't it be smelly? Hearing me say this, Tiffany angrily kicked my ass. Your feet are smelly. I won't help you next time. I responded and carried her out of the infirmary. The doctor watched our figures and secretly sighed. Youth is so good that it always makes people want to fall in love. In the wide campus of the school, a gentle breeze blew, shaking the green leaves. At this time, Tiffany was lying quietly on my back without saying anything. When we walked across the long bridge, Susan walked over from the opposite side. Tiffany, are you feeling better? Yes, much better. That's good. Let's eat. Come with me. After speaking, she glanced at me warily. You're not going to eat with us, are you? No, I have other things to do. After giving Tiffany to Susan, I turned and left. After paying off this debt, the two of us would not be involved anymore. But until school was over in the evening, I was stopped by Susan. At this time, Susan's expression was very serious. Looking at it, I knew she had come to interrogate, as expected. I sighed secretly and looked at Susan. What's the matter? I have something to talk to you about. Let's change places, okay? Let's go to Central Park. There were many people in Central Park, most of them were parents taking their children to play or young people who came here to relax after work. Susan sat back on the bench and said seriously, Kevin, what happened between you and Tiffany? I said, I let her borrow my umbrella and boots that day. Impossible, there must be something else. Otherwise, she wouldn't be so intimate with you. Hearing this, I was stunned. We are intimate? Where did you see us intimate? Susan said seriously, don't you know how disgusted Tiffany is with being touched by others, not to mention letting someone carry her? This is completely impossible. I didn't know this. I shook my head and then broke the grilled sausage I bought from the road in half and placed it on the flower bed. Seeing this, Susan was surprised. What are you doing? There are many stray dogs and cats in this park, so I come to feed them. Hearing me say this, Susan was stunned. You often come here to feed them? Are you going to be stray and feed? Not at a fixed time. I come when I remember, but the stray dogs and cats here all know me. While I was talking, there was a rustling sound in the bushes, and then a black dog emerged from the flowers. This was Spot. The first time I met him, he was smaller than now. I gently stroked Spot's head. Susan was stunned and couldn't help but smile slightly. Just now, there was a moment when she felt that this boy was so handsome and radiant. What's happening? Is it an illusion? Seeing that she wasn't talking for a long time, I turned my head. Do you have anything else you want to say? Susan shook her head. You know, Tiffany originally wanted to study abroad, but she didn't like living alone in a foreign country, so she had to persuade her parents a lot before she could stay in the country. I thought about it and nodded. A person born in a wealthy family like Tiffany, her family education must be very strict. Her choice to stay in the country must have cost her a lot of effort. Therefore, I don't want anyone to affect her college entrance examination. I understand. I won't talk to her again. Hearing this, Susan was stunned again. Did this boy agree with her? Moreover, his smile was so warm and full of goodwill. Don't you think I'm meddling too much? I smiled and shook my head. You did this for your best friend and didn't have bad intentions, so I can accept it. Seeing that the problem had been resolved, I don't intend to stay any longer. After throwing the garbage bag into the trash can, I turned and left the park. Seeing this, Susan couldn't help but stand up. Humph, you know that. She spoke to herself and then couldn't help but stroke Spot. On the other side, as soon as I got home, I saw Tiffy lying listlessly on the rug, as if to say, "Where did you go?" "I'm starving to death." I squatted down and gently rubbed its head. "Sorry, I had something to do, so I came back late. I'll feed you right away." After speaking, I opened the door. Unexpectedly, Tiffy meowed twice and limped into the house. Seeing this, I couldn't help but laugh. "Why are you limping your hind leg? Did you fight with Spot?" Tiffy angrily waved her front paws, looking fiercely cute and protective. "Don't say I'm getting lost, I haven't heard of someone telling me to go." I stooped to pick it up, checked my hind legs and said, "It's not a serious problem to go lunging, but rather to make the lunging feel a little swollen." Tiffy and my hand kept struggling, both hind legs kicking wildly. After dinner, I picked Tiffy up again and checked her carefully. I was originally planning to bathe her today, but her leg was limping like this, so I had to stop. "Can you be a little better and don't run around?" I stroked her head, but Tiffy wasn't happy. She had already been seen everything, and cleanliness no longer mattered. Fortunately, it was just a cat's body. If it was a real human body, I wouldn't dare to imagine that scene. Seeing her struggling again, I stopped teasing and put her down, then sat at the desk to study. Tomorrow was the monthly exam in the southern region of the city, and it was also an opportunity for me to change my status as a poor student. Although all the knowledge had been deeply imprinted in my brain, reviewing it again wouldn't hurt. This time, although I didn't expect to surpass Tiff, getting into the top 5 of the class probably wasn't a problem. Hopefully, that little girl Susan wouldn't cry. While I was focusing on studying, Tiffy was walking back and forth in the room. Today, I heard Susan say that boys' rooms often have secrets that can't be revealed. I had been here for 3 days and hadn't discovered them all. Thinking this, she jumped up and down from the bedside table to the closet, searching everywhere but not finding the life-size doll that Susan mentioned. Then she turned to look at the bookcase next to her and jumped hard. But her jumping power caused the closet to fall down, causing a loud noise. The sudden sound startled me. "What are you doing again, you dead cat?" Seeing the mess of clothes, my eyes widened. Tiffy couldn't give up and meowed angrily. "Oh? You're still not convinced? Then go sleep outside tonight." I pretended to be angry and walked over to catch her. Tiffy retreated in fear. There were stray dogs patrolling outside. On the first night she turned into a cat, she was fortunate that she knew how to climb trees to escape this despicable Kevin. I thought he was a good person. I had barely sensed a hint of warmth in the infirmary, and he treated me like that. I picked her up. While the words were threatening, I still needed to do something to punish her. Otherwise, she'd be completely out of control. I carried her into the bathroom as a form of punishment. "You're going to be locked in the dark." Tiffy glared at me angrily. All the good feelings vanished, and she just wanted to bite me. "Just obediently accept your punishment. I'll let you out when I'm done reviewing." Tiffy cried out, but it was no use. "Who told you to cause trouble?" I laughed triumphantly and gently closed the bathroom door. It was already 9 p.m. I reviewed all the material from the past 3 years and closed the book. Just as I was about to let Tiffy out, the phone on the desk suddenly rang. It turned out to be Mr. Smith sending a message via QWQ, "Add this number, Lee, join the group. The school's main group is about to explode because of you. Check it out now." I frowned. What did I do to cause such a fuss? Isn't it because you carried the school queen bee to the infirmary and stayed there for an hour? Everyone is saying they're going to skin you alive. Skin me alive? Is it that serious? I clicked on the number and joined South City High School's main group. As soon as I entered the group, I saw several photos taken from a high angle. The content was me carrying Tiffany to the infirmary. Below the photos were countless comments from male students, especially the last few comments. They were all from honor students who were very good at studying and were mostly candidates for prestigious universities. Therefore, they looked down on and despised me, a poor student. I coldly typed a message in the group, "It's great to talk badly about people behind their backs, huh? Claiming to be the elite of society, huh? Are you guys that confident?" The group chat immediately fell silent, and the atmosphere became awkward. Being caught badmouthing someone behind their back was sure to cause internal strife in the group. But even if Kevin caught them, what could they do? Could it change the fact that he was a poor student? Kevin, don't think that just because you're here, we don't dare to talk. What qualifications do you think you have to like Tiffany? That's right. Saying you're a toad wanting to eat swan meat is still too light. You're not even as good as a toad. Seeing those messages, I wasn't angry. Instead, I smiled meaningfully. Let's make a bet, how about that? What kind of bet do you want to make? Anyone here today? If I surpass you in the next monthly exam, you have to apologize to me in front of the entire school and call me daddy. Of course, if I lose, I'll leave the school immediately. Looking at the two lines of the bet in the group, the honor students laughed. Kevin, what qualifications do you have to compare scores with us? Ask anyone in this group if they believe a poor student like you can surpass us. That's right. As long as one person believes you, I'll accept this bet. But if you lose, the person who guarantees you has to leave school with you. Seeing this, I frowned. Would anyone dare to believe in me? Even if someone believed in me, would they dare to bet on leaving school? This is really making things difficult. Just then, a cat icon wearing sunglasses and blushing appeared in the group. I'll guarantee Kevin. He can do it. I believe in him. Her username was Cat in Boots, and her level in the group was also quite high. I was surprised and opened her personal profile, discovering that she was a girl in my school. I didn't have any close female friends, and even less anyone who would stand up to help me in this situation. But her appearance completely changed the atmosphere in the group. Not only the followers, but even the honor students didn't say anything. How about it? Is it okay? Of course it is. As the fifth-ranked person has a qualification to do so. But, is it necessary? That Susan is taking on the risk of being kicked out from school. The honor students were very uncomfortable. Tiffany was their goddess, and Susan was also very famous. These two best friends were known as the talented women of South City High School. One was close to Kevin, and the other was willing to guarantee Kevin. What was going on? How good was their relationship? Realizing this, I knew who Susan was. I didn't expect her to dare to guarantee me. Today, she even laughed at me when I said I wanted to enter the top 5 in the entire school. Thinking this, I closed the group chat and sent a friend request to Susan. Unexpectedly, she accepted immediately and sent a message, "What's the matter?" I hesitated a little. "Why did you help me? I find it interesting. I want to see what you're capable of. Even if I have to leave school?" "So what if I leave school? My dad is the principal of number 1 experimental high school. I can still take the university entrance exam." I immediately understood. So that was it. "But I have conditions if I help you. Whether you win or lose, I want you to clarify your relationship with Tiffany. I don't want her to be affected." "Okay." Without hesitation, I nodded. Then, I looked back at the group chat. Because the class rep was guaranteeing it, I accepted this bet. I also accept it. Count me in. Looking at the long list in the group, I couldn't help but smile. Great. No one in the top 100th grade dared to challenge me with my superhuman memory and the notes of the school queen bee. The chance of winning was too great. If I still couldn't enter the top 100th, then leaving school wouldn't be a loss. Just then, I saw the upper right corner of my phone. It was already 11 p.m. I didn't expect to have been arguing with them in the group for 3 hours. Thinking of this, I immediately remembered Tiffy's angry eyes. Crap. The cat is going to be pissed. I quickly left the room and hurriedly opened the bathroom door. At this moment, Tiffany was looking at me with resentful and angry eyes. 3 hours. I was locked up for 3 hours. Damn it, Kevin. You despicable person. How can you treat me like this? It's fortunate that I'm not too active. Since I was little, I've had a calm personality. Otherwise, these 3 hours would have driven me crazy. You beast. You only know how to bully me. Are you angry? Tiffy still looked at me angrily. I didn't do it on purpose. It's just that something happened. Then, I hurriedly took out my phone. Bet? Ah. Tiffany looked at the information on my phone, surprised. Something like this happened at school? Is it because of me? Oh well, it wasn't intentional for you to forget about me. Tiffy jumped down from the toilet seat and arrogantly walked out of the bathroom. The next morning, as I walked into the school, many eyes were focused on me. The bet in the school's main group last night had spread. Almost everyone knew what had happened. A poor student who was always at the bottom of the class actually dared to boast that he would defeat the honor students. This bet was really a joke. But there were also quite a few people who were curious and wanted to know what Kevin was planning to do. Was he planning to cheat crazily, or did he really want to take this opportunity to leave school? In any case, no one in the school believed that I would win. Although yesterday I had solved the most difficult question in 12A2, the students in 12A2 still didn't have any faith in my performance in the monthly exam. Kevin, I'm going to take the exam. You must try hard. Don't worry. At worst, I'll just leave school. Mr. Smith was stunned. You don't have any confidence? Are you planning to leave school calmly? I patted him on the shoulder. Don't worry. I won't lose to those honor students. But I have to remind you that you absolutely can't cheat. The school already knows about this bet. I guess they'll send teachers to monitor you closely. I understand. I picked up my exam card and walked to the 3rd floor, into the exam room. The surroundings were full of unfamiliar faces, but I felt that others were strange and that they were not strange about me at all because of this case. There was probably no one in this school who does not know me anymore, and to avoid attention would be difficult. This is Kevin? He's really courageous. There must be high-tech cheating devices on him. I bet he can't cheat. He just wants to take this opportunity to leave school. I walked past them, hearing the whispers. I couldn't help but shake my head. The exam rooms at South City High School were arranged according to score ranking. This means that poor students take exams together with other poor students, and good students take exams together with other good students. This exam room was at least 1 in 9 and 10 out of 10. Just then, a figure appeared at the door, attracting everyone's attention. It was Susan from 12A1. Why is she here? She's a good student. Shouldn't she be taking the exam in this room? It said that she stood up to guarantee Kevin last night. Oh my God. Another female goddess who's good at studying. Susan held a cup of milk tea and walked in front of me. She naturally placed the cup of milk tea on the table. This is for you. I was stunned. For me? Why are you giving it to me? Susan crossed her arms. Please do well on the exam. Although they said I don't need to leave school, I don't want to lose face. I know everyone doesn't believe in me, but I'll give them a surprise. I really don't understand where you get your confidence from. Susan was silent for a moment. Don't be at the bottom of the class, and I'll be satisfied. Goodbye. Seeing her figure walk out of the room, I picked up the cup of milk tea and shook it. Susan seemed to have changed her attitude towards me a lot. Why? I really couldn't understand. Just as I was feeling confused, another figure walked into the exam room, making the whole class hold their breath. It was the school queen bee. She's also here. Tiffany appeared at the door of the exam room, poked her head in to look, and then slowly walked in. She was also holding a cup of milk tea in her hand. What are you doing here? I raised my head and looked at Tiffany with suspicion. Tiffany snorted arrogantly, placed the cup of milk tea on my table, and turned to leave. The whole process took less than 10 seconds. From the time she arrived to the time she left, many people hadn't had time to react. Cough. I was locked in the bathroom for 3 hours. If it wasn't for the bet involving me, I wouldn't have come here to encourage you. At this moment, I was full of doubts. Why was this school queen bee so angry? What did I do to make her upset? And, did this cup of milk tea have poison in it? I picked up the 2 cups of milk tea and shook them. Both cups were the same. They were both bought at the school gate and had pearls and milk tea. There didn't seem to be any problems. Just then, I noticed a note on Tiffany's cup of milk tea. On it, a sentence was written in elegant handwriting: "If you don't pass the exam, you're dead." What the hell was this? The school queen bee was using the exam to threaten me. Damn it. I even took her to get her leg checked yesterday. What a heartless young lady. I don't even know if she washed her feet, but I massaged them for half an hour. And she still dared to threaten me. But to be honest, the ice pop in the socks was also fragrant. I put the 2 cups of milk tea in front of me, hesitated for a moment, and then opened Tiffany's cup. Just then, the bell rang. The proctor holding the exam paper walked into the room. Please put away all items not related to the exam. I warn you not to cheat. If you're caught, you'll get a 0. Understood? Hearing this warning, I raised my head and looked at the podium and frowned. The proctor this time was actually my math teacher, the one I had made leave the class yesterday. As expected, Mr. Smith was right. The school already knew about this bet and had sent someone to monitor me closely. I'm a poor student, do I need to go this far? Don't think about cheating. For these 2 hours, I'll always be watching you. As long as you make a small move, I won't let you off. The teacher spoke coldly as she handed out the exam papers and walked to my side. Thank you for your concern. I won't cheat. Taking the exam paper, I carefully examined it. Immediately, a series of knowledge appeared in my head. This exam was math, and I had reviewed math last night. Therefore, these old question types weren't a problem for me. I started writing fluently, making the students who were still hesitating feel surprised. Is this guy guessing? He knows the answer just by glancing at it? The math teacher sitting not far away also frowned. Is he guessing? He's definitely guessing. He was only lucky when he pointed out my mistake the other day. If hard work could slightly change academic performance, then what would teachers do? Very quickly, the end bell rang. Whether they had finished or not, all the candidates had to turn in their papers. At this time, I had long finished the paper and even took the time to sleep. I was satisfied with my performance. After turning in the paper, we had a 20-minute break. I left the exam room and walked to the garden in front of the building. This was a public area, and many students came here to relax. I sat in a secluded corner and looked around, unexpectedly seeing the quiet figure of the school queen bee. Today, she was wearing a white short-sleeved shirt and a gray skirt, sitting by the lake and looking into the distance. Everyone said that Tiff and I were dating, but that was impossible. A perfect girl like that would find any kind of boyfriend she wanted. But if I really married her home, just looking at her would be comforting. At this time, Tiffany also noticed me looking at her. Her eyes lit up a little, but then she immediately looked angry. I'm not going to find him. He locked me up for so long yesterday. Absolutely not going. I looked at Tiffany angrily and felt puzzled. What did I do to make her angry? Why did this girl always seem like she wanted to bite me? Should I go ask? Oh well, the school is full of rumors now. It's best to keep a distance from Tiffany. My normal life can't be ruined by this. Seeing that I didn't move, Tiffany became even more upset. I didn't come to find you, but can't you come to find me? Even though we don't have any relationship, I gave you milk tea, right? It's not too much to say a word of thanks, right? He only knows how to look. Tiffany angrily picked up a stone and threw it towards me while no one was paying attention. I was startled and dodged to the side. The stone brushed past my pants. This school queen bee's aim was too good. Her target was a sensitive spot. Was her personality the same as her cold demeanor? Tiffany pouted, snorted, and turned her head away. Seeing this, I also angrily picked up the stone from just now and threw it towards the lake next to Tiffany. Tiffany only heard a plop, and the stone fell into the lake, splashing water onto Tiffany's face. She immediately glared at me. "You dead, Kevin? Despicable Kevin." Tiffany wiped the water on her face and made a face. Seeing this, I couldn't help but laugh. At the same time, on the floor opposite the garden, Susan leaned against the window and looked down. She wondered if they really had nothing to do with each other. How clearly the two people could see what had fallen into her eyes was the way they threw rocks at each other. She recalled the scene on the sports field. As expected, it was just like that. When they were close, it seemed like there was only each other. No one could get in. But why did she feel a strange sense of jealousy? Maybe it was because her goddess was too close to others. Time passed quickly, and it was already evening. I packed my books and prepared to go home to rest. Just as I stepped out of the school gate, I immediately encountered a hurried figure. Wasn't that Tiffany? I immediately looked around and, seeing that there was no one, quickly blocked her. "Hey, Tiffany." Tiffany started the 15-minute timer before she would transform back into a cat. If she does not get out of school at that time, she's afraid that someone will see her. "Where are you going in such a hurry?" Tiffany turned around. Remembering the scene of being locked in the bathroom yesterday, she was a little nervous. She tightened her grip on the railing and bit her lip. "After throwing a stone at me, you're planning to run? Don't think it'll be that easy. Say it, why have you been so angry today?" Tiffany snorted coldly and turned her head away, not planning to answer. Was that how she got that cold persona? Was I supposed to let him know that I'm his cat? Had to let him know that she spent 3 hours locked in a bathroom? Had to let him know that I was able to be his for free? Not to say. No, never was never and never shall. Seeing her arrogant expression, I curled my lip. "I don't seem to have done anything offensive to you." Tiffany still snorted coldly. I scratched my head. "Oh well, never mind. You don't like me?" Hearing this, Tiffany's shoulders trembled slightly. "What nonsense are you talking about? I can't like anyone in 3 short days. When I don't have to transform into a cat anymore, I'll leave immediately." She didn't say anything. "You really like me?" "What? No, not at all, no way." Tiffany smiled. "Then that's good. I can't afford to raise a princess." Tiffany glared at me and quickly ran down the stairs. "Can't afford to raise me? You've already raised me. I don't know who held me in their arms and petted me. How could you snore? You're so hopeless." Tiffany muttered as she ran until she disappeared into the alley. I slowly walked out of the school gate, going in the same direction. As soon as I got home, I saw Tiffy waiting at the door. "Oh, the lazy cat has been coming home on time lately, huh?" With that, I lightly nudged her butt. Tiffy was unhappy, but still obediently went into the house. I put down my backpack, poured myself a glass of water, and sat on the sofa. Perhaps because I had never taken an exam seriously before, taking this exam seriously for a day was really tiring. "Hey Tiffy, you seem to have gained some weight lately. Go make dinner for me." Tiffy couldn't believe her ears. "Are you crazy? You're telling a cat to cook? Do you even have a heart? Ugh, why did I have to run into an owner like you? What a lazy cat, unwilling to cook. I'm really unlucky," I sighed and stepped into the kitchen. Saturday afternoon, I stretched in front of the school gate. I'm finally done with the exams. Looking at the clear blue sky, my mood gradually relaxed. I was quite satisfied with my performance this time. The estimated score was also pretty good. Based on my calculations, leaving school probably wouldn't happen. Look at your face, you must have done well, huh? At that moment, Susan stood behind me and patted my shoulder. I turned to look at her. Oh, it's you. Where's Tiffany? I don't know, she seemed to leave quickly. She's always so mysterious. Susan was silent for a moment. Tiffany and I rarely leave school together, so I'm not too sure. I couldn't help but scratch my chin. So this girl is also aloof with her best friend. But you seem to care about her a lot. It wasn't just a casual question. Susan hesitated for a moment and pointed to a silver BMW. It's casual. Even if it was, she was still concerned about Susan and her habits were never wrong. Thinking of this, Susan couldn't help but feel her heart beat faster, wondering what was wrong with her. I'm crazy. I'm really crazy. Tiffany is my best friend. It's normal to care about her a little. But why am I paying attention to what Kevin thinks? At the same time, at the door of my house, Tiffany looked at her hands and feet, her face revealing disbelief. The transformation time had passed, but she didn't turn into a cat. Why is this happening? Could it be that my wish has been lifted? But if it was lifted, there should be a reason, right? What's different about today and yesterday? Why wasn't it lifted yesterday, but it was lifted today? Countless questions appeared in the queen bee's head, but she didn't know what to do. Just then, I appeared in the hallway, looking at her strangely. Is that Tiffany? I didn't recognize her, did I? Why are you standing in front of my house? Tiffany was startled and hurriedly turned around. Crap. The owner is home. I didn't transform, but I'm standing on his doormat. I stepped forward. What are you doing in front of my house? I came home. No. I'm at the wrong house. Tiffany lowered her head, her cheeks flushed pink. I looked at her strangely. You knew this was my house before. We even met that time it rained, right? How could you get it wrong? I already said I got it wrong. Tiffany raised her head angrily and looked at me. Okay, then come in and hang out for a bit. I was just saying that casually, but Tiffin. Snoring while sleeping? How stupid. Tiffany muttered as she ran until she disappeared into the alley. I slowly walked out of the school gate, going in the same direction. As soon as I got home, I saw Tiffy waiting at the door. Oh, the lazy cat has been coming home on time lately, huh? With that, I lightly nudged her butt. Tiffy was unhappy, but still obediently went into the house. I put down my backpack, poured myself a glass of water, and sat on the sofa. Perhaps because I had never taken an exam seriously before, taking this exam seriously for a day was really tiring. Hey Tiffy, you seem to have gained some weight lately. Go make dinner for me. Tiffy couldn't believe her ears. Are you crazy? You're telling a cat to cook? Do you even have a heart? Ugh, why did I have to run into an owner like you? What a lazy cat, unwilling to cook. I'm really unlucky, I sighed and stepped into the kitchen. Saturday afternoon, I stretched in front of the school gate. I'm finally done with the exams. Looking at the clear blue sky, my mood gradually relaxed. I was quite satisfied with my performance this time. The estimated score was also pretty good. Based on my calculations, leaving school probably wouldn't happen. Look at your face, you must have done well, huh? At that moment, Susan stood behind me and patted my shoulder. I turned to look at her. Oh, it's you. Where's Tiffany? I don't know, she seemed to leave quickly. She's always so mysterious. Susan was silent for a moment. Tiffany and I rarely leave school together, so I'm not too sure. I couldn't help but scratch my chin. So this girl is also aloof with her best friend. But you seem to care about her a lot. It wasn't just a casual question. Susan hesitated for a moment and pointed to a silver BMW. I looked at that BMW but shrugged, so she continued walking. Okay, see ya, just thought I'd stop by. Later on at home I lay down okay, so it's settled. She likes me, I like her. I had to have a dream or something so the scene would continue. Back at Tiffany's mansion. She had to sit down and have her butler pour her some tea because her head hurt so much. Oh God, why did I do this? Oh, how do I fix this? Oh gosh, how do I fix this? I would sit up. That's it, I'm gonna ask that guy to go get me out. She was getting out of her room and ran into her mom. Did I hear you correctly, dear? A boy? I can explain, Mom. Please do, I am very curious. I am going to pause for now, still don't know where to go, but I want to keep it open to have the option of it being some dream.